Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Hope you had a great Memorial Day. Thanks to all that served. Memories for those that had died. A tough day for some, I know. Today we're going to talk about what hinders us. Hebrews 12, 1 through 3. Because God has complete knowledge and wisdom, Romans 11:33, we know exactly how each of his children are to live. In our human, finite understanding, however, we sometimes struggle to figure it out. Consider these 5 common obstacles. Number 1, doubt. Doubt is the one reason we might miss what God has planned for us. We wonder whether he is really interested in our problems, and we question his plan. 2, a sense of unworthiness. Unworthiness can also hinder us. If we feel undeserving, we might refuse to trust God and the plan that he has for us. 3, busyness often leads us to drifting because we're tied up in other things, and we often stop asking God for what he wants for our life. 4 is fear. Fear clouds our righteous judgment, hinders our ability to understand, and prevents us from following God's plan. 5 is willful sin. Willful sin, such as persisting in thoughts or actions that we shouldn't be, or when we're wrong, and it prevents us from living in the center of God's purpose for our life. Replace these 5 hindrances with truth. The cross of Christ reveals both God's trustworthiness and our value in his eyes. It establishes Jesus's importance and emphasizes the perfection of God's plan for our life. I got to spend the day with my granddaughter on Saturday, and that was fun. And Sunday I got a terrible migraine. This weather has wreaked havoc on me. And yesterday I kind of had a pity party for myself. Life has just been knocking me hard. Today I'm playing catch up because I have a busy rest of the week at work. So in my business, if you get a couple days off, then you pay for it when you go back to work. I live alone, so I don't have any excuse for not having time with God, and I do spend time with him. Is it quality time? Not always. But I've told you guys before, you can't build a relationship with someone if you're not spending time with them. And you can't get to know God if you're not spending time in his word, if you're not studying, doing some sort of study. And prayer time. And I prayer journal. I don't know, I've talked about this before, and somebody said, well, where do you start? Well, where I start is like on my devotion I did today. I'll write out all the scriptures that were in that devotion. And then from that, like, what am I dealing with right now? What I'm dealing with is, I wouldn't say it's depression, but it's the why. Why is all this happening? I've told you guys that, my daughter has a melanoma. Her surgery is June 18th. She was my brown baby. We rarely put sunscreen on her because she went outside and you know, she used to say to me, "Mom, why do you lay out in the sun?" And I used to, you know, yeah. And she was a fish. You know, she loved being in the water. And there's been a lot going on in my family. Things that I don't understand. And I'm the one that loves holidays, loved family gatherings. The why. So that's my journaling right now, you know. I hope you guys are doing all right. And I try to get on here every day, but I haven't been consistent. But that's why. So I hope you're all doing well. And have a great rest of your day. And I work 11 hours tomorrow, so you probably won't see me. Take care.